Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fireside Chat. So, tonight was a record. It was. It was a record. It was probably in all the years that Lucas Bouchard has been the character, this was the least amount of time that we have ever seen him. Lillian, well, Roxanne, this should take about 5 minutes to recap. Yep, this is what I'm talking about. Yes. So, not so much as um I do this as a recap. I do it just because we like to focus on our one character. And there's there's so many things that I'm going to talk about for tomorrow about the actual episode. So my focus is just on Chris and his part as Lucas. Someone help me out. I don't know why I keep missing it, and it's not in the press packets anymore. I mean, they're struggling with these press packets. They're not giving us everything they normally did. Could someone let me know who wrote this episode? I'm curious. So, Bryce, you thought it was a wonderful episode. Well, guess what, Bryce? I will talk about that tomorrow, not today. And I will give a hint. It actually made me angry. The episode made me angry. I will talk about it tomorrow. But let's see. Joy and Lindsay again. Okay, the dynamic duo, or I wrote it again, just like the one before it. Okay, so let's talk about. I was like, oh wow, when everybody was in, like the men were in the saloon asking if there's any new updates. Is there any new updates? And we get to see Bill, and we get to see Lee, and we get to see Henry, and then we get to see Lucas, of course, with his teacup in his hand, which was very fitting. And I'm glad that the teacup was in his hand. And he gets to sit down, and they're all talking about, asking Lucas what he would, how's it going as governor? Are you still governor? Being a little bit sarcastic as a joke, Henry was saying, and explaining how, how he set out to do like all kinds of things. And Lee is saying, well, at least if you're not governor anymore, and they've hinted about this a few times, your legacy is you have the Goldie National Park. And he's like, not for nothing, not that that's not nice, but he said he wanted to do something with healthcare, right? He said that, and trains. And they said, oh, your grand vision, there was a lot that he wanted to accomplish, and he's constantly, in politically stifled, right? My words, not theirs. And they mentioned healthcare again. So how many of you were thinking that Lucas will make the diabetes clinics a priority? Maybe like the insulin clinics, maybe set up something. Maybe he'll say something about that next week. I thought the Lucas would build the clinics. Yes. Good. Okay. All right. You are not late, Sandy. We're just starting now. So I like that. And I'm thinking that too. But what I don't understand is, okay, there was the part where they're going to go look for the pony, his pony. And Lucas gets up too to go out and help about it. But we never know. They never find him. They don't say that he did. And then we don't see Lucas again. We don't see him to the very end when they're standing outside of the church and they're praying and they're going to bless the animals. And that's it. And he's standing there. We don't really see him any other way. And I thought it was strange that you don't put, when something like this is happening and you're trying to get into a trial or whatever, it's very political, that they didn't even go to him, because he is the governor, like didn't even ask him to make a phone call to, I don't want to say pull strings, something like it didn't make sense to me. It was weird how they went about resolving it. And I don't know. And he had such a tiny, small part. Just, a tiny, tiny small part. And I want to talk more about next week. But before we do, I want to see what y'all have to say. All right. Lynette. Hi, Lynette. I thought he would be more involved in getting the insulin. Yes, to little Jack. Also thought maybe he would find the pony. Okay. I'm not even worried about finding the pony because we don't know who found the pony. The pony just showed up. What about him mentioning something about trains? He did. Perhaps he could set up an express train to ship the insulin to other territories, including Hope Valley. Yes, Kathy, great idea. I hope that that's what they chose to do. That would be fantastic. Loving it. I love that we speak these things and people do listen and watch. So this would be great. Lucas has to get reelected first. Sounds like he has a fight on his hands. I wonder if the town will support him. You know what? You are correct. But here's the thing. How long has he been governor? How long are their governor? Well, first of all, we know it's a made up position, but has to be more than 2 years that you get that position. So I don't know. How did Lucas find out about Jack being sick, Martha? Because he was there. Everybody in the whole town was talking about it. He was in the saloon. So we have to just assume, because you know how they usually keep him separate, but they didn't. He got some screen time. We didn't see anything of Edie. Cindy, sorry, but I still think Goldie National Park is a dumb name. All right. I did expect them to speak to Lucas to see how he could help as governor. I know. Like I do too. Even I don't know. Everybody else helps out except for, him. But okay. I mean, he did a tiny bit when he went to go help find the pony. Lillian, asking Lucas for help was smart. Nobody ever accused these writers of being smart. Thank you, Lillian. The governor should have some sort of authority to be able to get the insulin. Yes, Avis. Time is relative in Hope Valley. A little bit late, but glad I made it. Okay. Thank you for coming, Kathleen. The bypassing of Lucas is clearly intentional, is a fear of Lucas being a Spud Love. I know, Arlene, but really, I'm so glad people have been emailing me like crazy. I put all the emails in a file. I wanted to give it like a week, and then I'm sending it over to the peeps. Let's see right here. That would be amazing if Lucas focused on that, and of course, always there for the community. Be treated so poorly for some time now. Yes, Roxanne, I like the teacup as that is so Lucas style, which was good. Yes. Sharon, when they had the baseball broadcast, they could have had Lucas come out and at least be semi-involved. Every cast member was involved in that except for him. He is the only one that was not involved. Everybody was there. He was the only one that was not. I haven't watched the episode tonight, but sounds like it was about what I expected. Bryce. Okay. I think he'll have a bigger part next week. Oh, he does, Bryce. We know. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to talk about this one at first. It's like they keep Lucas in a separate world, and they kind of do. They said that. They being Joyce, she said that she does sort of want to keep him separate, and they're trying to help him develop his storyline with Edie, although we didn't even see her mention of her, and they still don't give enough time for that development. If that's where they want to go, they have to make the audience fall in love with those characters and their relationship, not rush it. Don't tell us, show us. But yeah, I don't understand why I don't know, it just didn't fit. I'm not the type of person that thinks that Chris has to have these big parts and be involved in every single thing. I get that. But the entire community was involved. And it was just weird because of the position that he holds. He's not just your average person in the town. So politically, it would have made more sense. I mean, he could have been right there working side by side with May and with Faith, trying to call up who they knew. It's political. That they get backing for it. That they have to have money for these trials for whatever. So they just bypass that whole storyline, which doesn't make it believable for me. Um, I don't know. It just didn't make it believable for me. I thought it was a little weird. Let's see. Let's see. What's this? When they had the baseball broadcast, they could have. Okay, I saw that already. I missed that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep track. Just keep Lucas fans watching. Yeah. Mary says, the person who should have been able to help with the clinic had no backing, but after they find the gold and get the ranchers on his side. Yeah, but still, it didn't make sense. They do have it in Toronto, and they did have trial, like they running trials there. They're trying to get. Elizabeth said, because they're so far removed. She goes, that's most of this area. And I thought, okay, with him saying healthcare as number one thing he was trying to, I think is one of the first things Lucas popped out of his mouth when he was saying what he was trying to do as governor. I feel like that will be a focus for next week. And I really do hope it will be, because I don't like that they chose to do this illness. It's not like you got sick and needed an operation like they've done with, I think it was, was it Cody back in the day? Had to have an operation. Even with Ned, this is an illness and it's really serious. And just because you get a shot in your arm didn't mean it was miraculous. They're kind of poo-pooing it. It's almost as if somebody had brain cancer and they're doing a trial and they're kind of poo-pooing that. Like, that's off-putting. If you're going to make the commitment to do something like this, then do it correctly. And one of the things that should have been involved would be that the governor would have been involved. Do you know what I mean? Especially since he knows them, it's just strange. Did you think, Kathleen, hi, Kathy, did you think that Lee, Bill, and Henry were kind of being sarcastic with Lucas about his being settled in the governorship? No, I did not think they were being sarcastic. They were actually supportive. I like that. I marked it. Even what Bill said, I marked it down, that they were kind of saying to him, don't be down in the dumps. Come on, buck up. You can do what you wanted to do. They were basically saying, what do you have to lose? Just do it. Do what you always wanted to do. And don't worry about your, constituents and what they all think. And I thought, I like that. And I thought right away, Lucas is going to have a lab built, I like that. No, I don't think they were being, Joy Gregory said so. Okay. No sensitivity for Lucas, who felt so close to Jack. Mary, that's gone. I cannot, and they will not do that. And I understand why they won't. That storyline is over. This is a new storyline. According to them, I mean, that didn't even happen. It didn't go down. None of that. I saw on social media someone saying, oh, look at Nathan reading to little Jack. We saw a little boom boom of that, right? What about the beautiful scene of Lucas reading to Jack? And when it was the other storyline. And that is when Elizabeth fell in love with him. She took her shoes off and she knew that she loved him, right? And when he fell asleep and she said, I love you, but she said it out, like she said it out loud. Of course, he didn't hear it because he was sleeping. Do you remember all of that? So that scene was great. All we saw was a flash of Nathan reading a book, but I have to say something. I have a very, very good friend. We've been friends for years, and her son is my godson. And when you grow up together, live in a small town. Actually, her mother was my good friend. I met her at school. Her mom was, worked in the school system. Anyway, make a long story short here. She and I do not like the same kind of movies, but we respect each other's choices. And her mother loved One Calls the Heart like I do. And so she started watching because her mom watched, and she got hooked, and she told me how much she loved it. And I said to her, because she is already caught up now all the way up to season 11, halfway through, and she stopped watching because her mother passed away, and it's hard for her to watch, so she's going to watch again. But here's talking to her on the phone, and she goes, I said, oh, she was asking me about the show, and I was telling her something about Chris, and she said to me, I just love, I knew she would. I love Nathan. And she goes, I'm so happy. She was happy that Nathan was with Elizabeth. And I said, curious, why do you say that? Because we really don't talk about the show because I don't want to give stuff away to her. She goes, because I always thought Lucas was shady. I said to her, what? And I went to explain a few things. And then I was like, were you not focusing and paying attention? And I was like, okay, I had to stop talking. Oh God, that story. And those are her words. Shady. I swear to you, those are her words. And she's not on social media because of it. All right. Anyway, he also still a resident of Hope Valley. Yes, Curry. And the whole family, I mean, the whole Hope Valley was coming together. And I just think it was weird how they wrote it. It's just so weird, right? Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Nikki, it's not like Lucas isn't in Hope Valley. You're right. He is there all the time. So why is he not involved? Where was Edwin and Eddie? Yeah, well, where has Edwin went? I don't know. He probably went back, to put out fires over in the capital city. And Edie, where's Edie been? I don't know. She's hiding out at the cabin, which we get to see next week. We're going to talk about that in a minute. There are fan fiction writers that can write better. Yes, thank you. All right. No, Kathy. Wait a minute. I'm trying. No, Kathy. All right. Jan says no, Kathy. I don't think they were being sarcastic. I think they were prompting him, to remember that he still has power. Yes. To stop trying to please all these other people. Just go out and do what you want, because don't even worry. Do it. Do it with your plans that you made. You cannot please everybody. It makes me wonder what the writers have against Lucas Bouchard being the governor. One would think his presence in Hope Valley would be of importance. Judy, I don't think, I honestly, this is my, you know me, I'm honest. This is my honest feelings. I don't think that they have things against that character. What I think was, and especially from what I told you all to go watch that interview with Joy. You should go watch it, especially at the end when she's talking. I think it has to do with, it's a grand position. Okay. They were trying to make him in capital city, and then with all the sets, and they would need extras, they said, and it was just too big for them to write, and they're struggling. They basically said it, and then she kind of caught herself. They're struggling on how to write it. I mean, I don't know why. We could think of 1,001 things that can be done. And it's funny because whatever their struggles are, and their fear of what they're afraid to have come across the screen, and their joy of what they think is coming across the screen is not for so many of us. They keep missing the mark. Could Chris have asked for less screen time? Why? Why would somebody ever ask for less screen time? I doubt it. I doubt it. Lucas was so, and here's the thing too. See a question like this, I would never assume anything. I'm never going to speak for an individual because I don't know. Who knows? But that's neither here nor there. Okay. Lucas was so badly treated tonight by them not involving him in anything. Oh, I don't think he was badly treated. He was involved in stuff. He was. It just wasn't as much as it could have been. Yeah. All right, Margie. From the time Lucas was elected, even when he was shot, no one except for Henry has really been there for him. Even when Henry didn't want to be involved in politics, they remained friends. It's true. And they even he gave him a great advice, and they even, Lucas and Lee and all them kind of even said, come on, Henry, like, this is the guy I need. You got, what's some more advice you have for me so I can make these good decisions, because this is what he's wanted to do all along. Do you know what I really wish? I really wish, I don't want to hear about Jeanette and her trial anymore. If they're going to keep mentioning it over and over again, little at a time, we call that in literature a signpost, and that's called an again and again. Normally, with really good writing, when that happens. It goes towards a conflict or a prediction of something that's coming to the future. So if that's the case, I would hope that they finish it on the last episode and it be done. It be done, and I don't know, just over with, and we don't have to hear from it anymore. Jan, that's correct, Roxanne. It annoyed me that they are trying to say that everything is just fine now. It's not. Yes, diabetes is forever. I got a lot. I mean, a lot to say about that. And that will definitely be for tomorrow. The part that fits for me tonight would be that they went about it the wrong way. They should have definitely, if anybody's political in that town or has a link to politics, it would definitely be Lucas. And they missed it. Like, logically, his hand should have been in there somehow. Elizabeth getting on the phone crying, it's got to be. It's got to be. And she says what she has to say. And all of a sudden, miraculously, oh, we'll give it to you. You don't need 10, you can have 9 because there might be the other sister. No. What would have been logical is to have him have a say in it. Or better yet, put his body in the car. I know he was sick, put him in the car and drive him to Toronto and stay there. Find a place, you've got the cashola, be staying there and be part of the trial. And then from there, get it. All of a sudden, she's trained what? How was she trained? It was 24 hours. How she being, I'm sorry, May. May was trained in 24 hours, even if we're a day. What are you talking about? So much training that they'll open and do a thing at Faith's clinic. Wait. Mm. Okay. I need to fan myself. And I'm grunting. So I'm very ladylike. Let me fan myself. All right. I agree. They are going to have Jack be so sick and it will be a lifelong battle for him. Cindy, I think Lucas wasn't involved with LJ because they are moving on and see Nathan as a father figure. Oh yeah, I get that. I agree with you, Cindy. I know you're talking to each other. Yeah, I have no problem with Lucas being involved directly with LJ. I don't care if they didn't even share a scene because they didn't. That didn't bother me. Well, they did share the scene at the end when they were singing. That does not bother me at all. I'm okay with that. But when everybody was helping out and what they were all doing, they could he should have logically been a part of all of that. Even Faith had more screen time and she's been gone for half of the season. This is true because she's pregnant, was pregnant. It's not logical to think that no one would ask Lucas to help as governor to, press these doctors for the need to the territory. Yes, you're right. Lucas reading to little Jack was an amazing scene. True love. Yes, I know. As governor, he should have had the best connections to get the insulin. Yes, you are correct. What's this? LJ had a new teddy bear in a couple of the scenes, not the one Lucas had one for him. They had the governor looking for the pony. I know, because he wanted to help out. I was okay with that. The governor's not supposed to be just so big. He's that wonderful human inside. So I was okay for that. And yes, we know they're pushing a Nathan storyline. I get that. But still, it's just the logic of a storyline. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Nikki, if they give Lucas a big story, they are afraid it will become more important than the. I know that you say all of that. I get all of that, but that doesn't mean that they can't have little pieces of good writing. I'm not saying he has to have a big, giant, grand storyline either. Mike, the current Canadian/US political situation have repercussions for Wenkel's heart. You mean down the road? Because it has nothing to do with this storyline because there were, when this was written, and this has been written, like they probably wrote it this time last year because they were, filming, they'd be filming soon. So, who knows, Mary? I don't know. I don't have answers for that because how could it not? Let's say that much. How could it not? But let me say this. So, without being political, let me say this. This is important. A lot of what we think is happening, just because the president says, I've made an executive order to do X, Y, and Z, doesn't mean that it happened, because that's not how our government works. I don't feel like doing government 101, American government 101. That's not how our government works. Don't anybody get your body in a whatever. I'm telling you, as a teacher, that is not how our government works. So what happens is a lot of that still has to get passed and move forward. And quite a bit of the things that our executive orders are already reaching the judicial system and being denied and having to go back. So it's not like as we think. So here's my bottom line on that. Don't all outlets of things for both sides, all media is strange. You're not always getting the full story. So yeah, let's move on from that. If they can't write for him as governor, get him out of politics and have him working at something in Hope Valley. Honestly, I loved him as a saloon owner. I know, Cindy, and you know the whole idea belonged to Lindsay, and I don't know what they're going to be doing with that too. A lot of you loved him as a saloon owner. Love the series with Henry and scenes with Henry and Lucas. I hope they continue with that friendship, working together and going forward to make Hope Valley a better community. It's true. Like they said, stop trying to worry about all of everyone else and just go and do what you need to do. Yes. All right. Hamilton is only 50 miles from Toronto. They could have stayed with their parents. There's so many things they could have done. All right, Sharon, sorry to be negative, but I watched Joy and Brian's podcast and they just aren't making a good storyline for Lucas. Ugh, it's so frustrating. Yeah, well, I watched the end part of it too, and I'm agreeing with you. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. The three creators are falling asleep at the wheel on this show with two showrunners, and episodes are unbelievable and lack continuity in using the cast in their character roles. You are correct. I get that. So a lot of people get it. And it can't, people are like, oh, it's in its 12th season. That's not even that. Some of those things that they wrote, and I mean, if it were me and you wanted a long-term storyline for this season, it could have been the diabetes. It could have started in the beginning and been the arc throughout the whole thing. We could have seen a little bit at a time of him. I know we saw what 2 episodes maybe where little Jack was getting sick, but we could have seen it right from the beginning and a little at a time each episode. And halfway through, it could have been that, he has diabetes and what are we going to do? Mike and Mary, are they going to get trained? Have Lucas help with getting the things set up there? It just instead, but that's for tomorrow. Okay. You made me digress. All right. Let's talk about next episode. We saw some previews. There's a really good sneak peek that's out there on YouTube. It's from Hallmark. And what is cool is that we get to see the cabin where Edie's uncle lives and what's on the ranch. And we get to see that those two are playing cards, hanging out, playing cards. And she says she, wants him to do something. And he guesses right away, find the gold. So I wanted to talk about this and what you think. This whole gold and the race. There is a promo picture that shows Bill and Elizabeth with Nathan trying to dig up something and find something. The gold doesn't belong to Edie and Lucas. Why are they racing after it to beat Bill and Rosemary, Nathan? Is it for a reward? Is it because they get a reward for finding it? Does that come out somewhere? And then maybe Edie could use that money? Or is there more to it? And here's the more that I don't like. God forbid I will flip out all over social media if they make it shady, okay? And shady with what? She wants to get her hands on it and she'll keep some for herself. Like what's this race? Why would they even be racing? Why wouldn't they be working together, looking for the gold? And even if you look for the gold, is she trying to clear her uncle's name and how he doesn't have a part in it? But maybe the wording is wrong in the little piece of the press packet that we already have. I don't know. But what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Okay. Avis, they are enemy together, so for them, it's good writing. Okay, Lillian, there must be a reward. Okay, I'm hoping that's what it is, Lillian. I'm hoping the cliffhanger is Lucas making the grand gesture regarding the clinic. I don't know if that would be a cliffhanger. The time spent on Ava's storyline was so total waste of time. Wouldn't Edie inherit the gold from her uncle? It's not, it's stolen. It's stolen on her property. It's the gold is stolen gold. It's stolen from a train holdup. And I forget who it belongs to, but it doesn't belong to Edie's uncle. So no, she wouldn't get to keep any of it. Is it finders keepers? How could it be finders keepers? Because they already said it's a cold case and they know who it belongs to. So, and how much it's worth. So it's not finder keepers. No. The gold was stolen. It didn't belong to Edie's uncle. Oh, you're saying what I'm saying, Margie. Yeah. Robin, yes, I'm not understanding that either, as I believe her debt is gone now, right? It is because she doesn't owe anything to that McGinty because he was, he was like a loan shark, not on the up and up, and they resolved that. It's not that. She still has a lot of debt because the ranch was failing, and she, said this. So it only made it worse because of what the uncle had to keep shoveling out to keep it. But that's not it. Like, is it, I don't know, money that would help her sustain the ranch, because it's not that easy and she's a lawyer. So I'm curious, like, what is that whole race? What do you think? Oh, I see, Mary. What do you think? Would rather Lucas accomplish more as governor instead of not accomplishing accomplishments or things working on overnight because ranchers suddenly change their mind like they are the only ones who have a say. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes. Was Garrison in the episode left for the one that stole the gold, or am I wrong? Yeah, they stole it. They stole it. The one died. The one that helped with the stealing. The one didn't know anything about it, just through his family. He's a cousin, but the one is dead and then one was in jail. So they can't figure out where it is. I'm hoping that there's a reward and Edie gets it. Okay. Maybe they should call it a day. Please. Yes. Agree. Please agree. I hope that there's going to make Lucas look shady. I know. Her uncle has hidden the gold and Edie finds his scavenger hunt map and that helps them find the gold. Yes, I saw that. She recognizes the map in the little preview. But my point is, why is it a race? And why would Lucas and Elizabeth, good Lord, Lucas and Edie, geez, they did L and E for them. Lucas and Edie be up against Bill and Rosemary. And again, Nathan's there with them digging it up. So I don't know what the race could be. That's just dumb because Bill doesn't need the reward. I don't know. Whatever the race is about, hold on. Whatever the race is about, Lucas and Edie for the win. Yes. The story completely stopped making any sense last week when Nathan and AJ McGinty was again. Yes. I could see Edie being a savvy lawyer, finding out there's a reward for it. In all honesty, she would be the choice to find it since she knows all of Ernie's hiding places. Yes. Regardless of needing the money, Edie will be doing the right thing. Good. And that's what I hope. Martha, they are trying to make it a reality show. Maybe they're trying to make it a reality show, Martha. A reality show, Martha said. Okay, so you kind of have questions like I do too. Alrighty, so tomorrow is when I recap the entire episode. And I don't have a guest, but and I didn't put up a recipe because it just didn't feel like it for this one. I was going to do the moon spell cakes that Molly made, which by the way, she made them for the because she's Irish background, and she made them for the harvest festival that is Gaelic, and they're a real recipe, which I know But I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm just getting tired of certain things. So I'm excited. And I have some news. I'm not going to say what the news is, but I have some news coming up. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know if you'll join me tomorrow for the rest of this, but anybody got something to say before I go? I agree. No shady business with Lucas and Edie. Good. Did you like Lucas's long locks this episode? Yes. All right. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to say. All righty. Well, what's the news? Martha, I'm not announcing any news right now. I'm just letting you know I have some. If McGinty is looking for it too, Lucas will be able to help keep Edie safe. I don't know that McGinty's involved anymore. I don't think he's looking for anything because he would be trespassing on Edie's land. Remember that? I really think it's somewhere on her land. And well, it is on her land. And I just excited to see how they decorated the little cabin, and he's in the little cabin with her. And I love the little looks that they gave each other when they're playing the game, just for real quick. You love his long hair. Yes. Okay. All right, friends. I'm going to say goodnight. It's very windy here, and I'm glad my Wi-Fi stayed up. All right. You have a good one.